Hare Krishna. So welcome back everybody. Om multicolors. So we want to see watercolors and Zoom. You know, from Zoom, when these ladies who have done it, they come and sitting right in front of me and doing study. Yeah? I didn't know who I'm talking to. So it's just a moving image, right? It's not real life. Switch it off. So we begin and hopefully today we should complete. Okay? Chapter this one. So just be careful. So we are Is it raining outside?
Yes, it's pouring.
It's pouring.
You never require a break up. Madhuji never requires a break.
No.
No, there was a shower, then it stopped. There's a shower came again, the traffic became too much.
But everybody was waiting for the rain, right? Now it's not. Now it's here. When will it stop raining? Okay, so we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam, Telugu 4, chapter 28, 60, 62. Alright. Yeah, so it's been a very, very intense reading and study, so I'm not going to revise it again. So we will just carry forward. So text 62, so we can decide. Aham Bhagavan Chanyastam Tvamevaham Vichashravo Namo Pashyanti Pavanas Chidram Jatu Manakavi.
Translation by Divine Bishop Prabhupada. My dear friend, I, the super soul, and you, the individual soul, are not different in quality, for we are both spiritual. In fact, my dear friend, you are qualitatively not different from me in your constitutional position. Just try to consider this subject. Those who are actually advanced scholars, who are in knowledge, do not find any qualitative difference between you and me. Purport. Both the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the living entity are qualitatively one. There is no factual difference between the two. The Mayavadi philosophers are again and again refuted by the illusory energy because they think that there is no separation between the super soul and the individual soul, or that there is no super soul. Then also misled in thinking that everything is the super soul. However, those who are learned scholars actually know the facts. They do not commit such mistakes. They know that God and the individual soul are one in quality, but that the individual soul falls under the clutches of Maya, whereas the super soul, the supreme personality of Godhead, is controller of Maya. Maya is the creation of the supreme Lord. Maya Shrishta. Therefore, the Supreme Lord is the controller of Maya, although one in quality with the Supreme Lord, the individual soul is under the control of Maya. Mayavadi philosophy cannot distinguish between the controller and the controller.
So the mic is in your hand, so please tell us what is this purport. So the next two verses going to be about Mayavadi philosophy. So explain to us.
Here Prabhupada said that both the living entity and the super soul are qualitatively one, but there is no factual difference. Qualitatively one, but the Mayavadi are again and again repeated by the illusory energy. Therefore, they think that there is no difference, there is no separation between super soul and individual soul. They are misled in thinking that everything is super soul.
So this is about the living entity. So just look at 61. Sometimes you think yourself a man, sometimes a chaste woman, and sometimes a neutral eunuch. This is all because of the body which is created by the illusory image. This illusory image is my potency, and actually both of us, you and I, are pure spiritual identities. Now just try to understand this. I'm trying to explain our factual position. So this is, it's like the tragedy of falling in this material world, that even when you're trying to come out, you can't figure out who you are. I don't know whether it happened to you. Like somehow you understood that there is spiritual knowledge and you approach and teach and you want to know. But everybody, wherever you go, everybody's got some philosophy, right? Right? From society to society, organization to organization. Everybody's got a philosophy. And everybody's trying to bully you. Come in my camp, come in my camp. So it's such a distress for this poor jiva who finally, has understood that something is wrong in this world, and you're trying to find your way, and you don't know where to go because everybody's got a story to sell to you, right? Yeah, just put this straight. I forgot to just undo this. Yeah, so first thing is this. First point is that actually there is no qualitative difference between the soul and the super soul. This is fact. Something vibrating in the wind. And you will be a saint with Krishna. That's what I was about to say. There is no factual difference between the two. No factual difference between soul and super soul. But here, so now Mayavadis, what's the problem with the Mayavadis? They're thinking that since there is no difference between the soul and the super soul, therefore there is no, there's no super soul at all. So the thing is only you. Alright? This is the problem. I remember how when I started to read Prabhupada books, and we were just reading it, then when I come to the temple, it was like, that was the main emphasis. You and the super soul. Otherwise, we grew up with the idea that it's only you. Yeah, so why do we say that no, it's not only you, it's two? Because it's fine. So, why do we say that no, there has to be two and not one?
They are quantitatively, one is prone to fall into Maya and one is the controller of Maya.
Yeah, yeah.
Somewhere qualitatively they might look similar, but one is a controller and the other one is the controller.
Yeah, because one of them
tend to fall into Maya. So how can we say that God falls into Maya? Does God fall into Maya? It's not possible, right? So that's why this is the proof. This is the proof that there has to be a difference. So even though they are one, are you able to follow this, Shilpaji? So even though they are one, soul and super soul, they are one. But there has to be a difference because one is falling into Maya. And why is it not possible for the super soul to fall into Maya?
Because he is the creator of mind. He is the creator.
Yes. Because if we say the super soul falls into Maya, it means that, what does it imply? Yes, and therefore he cannot be Ishwara. Was that by definition, Ishwara has to be the supreme controller. Right? So this is now, more argument will happen on this. Text 63. Yatha purushatmanam ekam adarsha chakshushoh dvidha bhutam aviksheta tathaivantaram avayoh. You can't read? Shashi, you read? This thing won't go too far, You'll have to come closer because this...
Translation. As a person sees the reflection of his body in a mirror to be one with himself and not different, whereas others actually see two bodies. So in our material condition in which the living being is affected and yet not affected, there is a difference between God and the living entity.
Yeah, I'm just saying that this mic won't be able to travel too far. If you can come, pull in the circle closer. All right, read, Shashi.
Purport. Being affected by the conditioning of matter, Mayavadi philosophers cannot see the difference between the Supreme Lord and the living entity. When the sun is reflected in a pot of water, the sun knows that there is no difference between himself and the reflected sun in the water. Those in ignorance, however, perceive that there are many small suns reflected in each and every pot. As far as the brilliance is concerned, there is brilliance both in the original sun and in the reflection. But the reflections are small, whereas the original sun is very large. Vaishnava philosophers conclude that the living entity is a small sample of the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. Qualitatively, God and the living entities are one. But quantitatively, the living entities are small fragments of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord is full, powerful, and opulent. In the previous verse, Lord says, "My dear friend, you and I are not different." This non-difference refers to qualitative oneness, for it was not necessary for the Paramatma, the Supreme Personality, to remind the conditioned soul that he is not one in the quantity. The self-realized soul never thinks that he and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are one in every respect. Although he and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are one in quality, the living entity is prone to forget his spiritual identity, whereas the Supreme Personality never forgets. This is the difference between Lipta and Alipta. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is eternally alipta, uncontaminated by the external energy. The conditioned soul, however, being in contact with material nature, forgets his real identity. Therefore, When he sees himself in the conditioned state, he identifies himself with the body. For the Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, there is no difference between the body and the soul. He is completely soul. He has no material body. Although the super soul, Paramatma, and the individual soul are both within the body, the super soul is devoid of designation, whereas the conditioned soul is designated by his particular type of body. The super soul and is called Antaryami, and he is extensive. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 13.3. Shitranjanam Chapi Ma Vidhi Sarva Kshetrasu Bharata. O Sayan of Bharat, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies.
Okay, so now everybody pen and paper. I wanted to get the marker. So you have to draw this picture and write down what you have just studied now. Everybody? Make pictures. Illustrate this. The analogy. Sun in sun and pot, yeah. We should not forget this. Prabhupada keeps on speaking about it. And if you are teaching somebody, you should be able to explain this. Should I draw?
First the sun.
First sun, then pot. Okay? Pot and then water and then small suns.
Okay. And then water.
Some water. Water. Okay? Reflection of the sun. And then the small suns. Then reflection of the sun on the water. Small ones.
Reflection on top and sun top and
What's the philosophy?
What's the philosophy?
So I know
Yeah.
sun is like Supreme Lord.
Okay. So this is Supreme Lord. Then
All design, all living entities are this part and parcel.
so these are all
Part and parcel of
jivas. Alright.
So basically, the philosophy is the sun and the jivas. If you understand
see where we're getting caught?
They are qualitatively one.
You're understanding where we're getting caught? Right? Here is one sun, like already we're contradicting each other. Right? And say, is the sun, is it true it's the same sun?
No.
Is it true it's not the same sun?
It is the same sun, but when the water disappeared, the reflection also disappeared. But that one will remain eternal and ever. So that is the gauge.
So we merge then. So when the water evaporates, then it means that this one and this one come one and the same, right?
No.
I'm Mayavadi now. Right? You're getting what's the problem?
Yes.
So tricky. So tricky, right? So if you remove the water everywhere, then what are you left with? Yeah, so if you're doing all the water, meaning that now the sun is same as? Yeah, right? So what Prabhupada is explaining?
But then that sun's existence is because of the water. But that sun, whether there is water, no water, that remains as is. But here, just because there is a water, so its dependency is depending on that sun, whose reflection as well as of the water. But that sun is not dependent on anything.
Okay, so now let's read what the problem is. So reflection in the mirror, meaning the mirror of the water. So some see, what do they see?
Multiple small.
One body only, right? Some are saying one body only because they say it's the same body that is reflected in so many parts. It's only one body. And some are they saying? They're saying? What are they saying? Two bodies. Alright. So we have to reconcile this whole problem now. Is it one body or is it two body or many bodies, right? That's the problem. So those in ignorance, Prabhupada is saying that there are many small suns because now it has become like you have the huge sun and you have a small body of water, right? So in each pot you're finding one sun. So those who are in ignorance, they see that there are many. So it's that one sun has become small. All right, it's not just many. It's not just many sun, right? That's the whole point. That when we have different small like bodies of water, that huge sun is reflected in the small bodies and it looks small. But what are we saying? What Mayavadis are saying? The small is equal to the big. All right? I mean, you really have to have some brain, right? No, all this Mayavad philosophy. So Prabhupada is explaining. So those in ignorance perceive there are many small suns reflected in each and every pot. So now comes how the Vaishnavas are saying, okay, there may be many in each pot, but there is a problem. Where's the problem?
It is a small sample of.
Okay, size. All right, this is one point, the size. Second, yes, brightness. Meaning, what about brightness?
Brightness is less smaller sun.
Yes, the smaller sun have less brightness, and therefore, therefore,
the bigger sun is more powerful.
yes, therefore, what can we conclude? Let's read again.
Then there are small fragments. Then we have small fragments of the Supreme Personality.
Yes. This is how the logic is applied. So here Prabhupada is saying, Mayavad philosophy say, their point is that some are saying there's only one body, because I just said, now if you remove the water, then everybody say there's one sun, so that's the problem. You remove the water, everything become one. Right? Everything become one. So here saying, but no, if you look closely, the reflection in the pots. There are two qualities to it. One, it is smaller, and secondly, it is less brilliant. All right? So at the same time, everybody is agreeing that that one sun reflected in the water, it is the same sun. The conclusion is that the living entity is a small sample, Prabhupada used, all right? The living entity is a small sample of the Supreme Lord. So if we want to know who or what the Supreme Lord looks like, then we just have to examine ourselves. Yes, correct. We examine ourselves, we can understand what the Supreme Lord looks like, feels like, right? You have emotion, meaning he must be having emotions, right? You have a shape, then he must be having a shape. You have desires, he must be having desires. All right? She's looking so pretty today, right? She's all in blue, bright. Yeah, I was looking around and said, oh, she looks very pretty today. Okay, now what is the difference between the Lord and the Jiva? Yes.
The Jiva forgets its spiritual life.
Yes, he forgets.
One is lipta and one is alipta.
What does that mean, lipta, alipta?
Uncontaminated by the external energy. Uncontaminated by the external energy is alipta.
Yeah, oh my God, I got all mixed up here. Okay. Prabhupada gives a list. The Supreme Lord is full. Alright? He is powerful. He is opulent. Whereas we are dependent. Right? We are completely dependent because we are part of a whole. So if you take the part and you separate that part from the whole, he or she is always hankering, to go back to that whole. Just like a child cannot live without the mother, right? Always hanging onto the mother. Yeah. Oh God, do we have to do all this? Aram se. Okay, we've come for 1 hour class. Let us focus. So maybe we can switch off our phones before we come in. Otherwise, there's going to be calamity. Yeah, so here you are. So the Supreme Lord is full, powerful, opulent. He's alipta. What is this alipta? Yeah, not contaminated by the external energy. There is no difference between the body and the soul of the Supreme Lord. He's completely soul, he has no material body, and he's devoid of designations. What does that mean, devoid of designations?
If we say I am so and so, I belong to this community, this society, and all these other things.
What's the problem with that idea of designation? What's the problem with that?
Beyond all these things don't matter. Doesn't need designation.
Well, Krishna, we like to call him Krishna, Nandana, right? Devaki Nandana, right?
We call, but he doesn't.
But he accepts. So what is the problem with this designation?
It's all pervading. It's all pervading. It's not at one place. When we are situated
very good. Anything else about designation? Why is it that designation pinches us?
Is it related to the body?
Yes?
We identify ourselves with the body.
Yes, and what's the problem then? Designation.
We think we are that.
So there is an attachment.
Yes, yes, but why does it hurt? You know, this designation, and that it becomes an anartha and a problem for the soul. Attachment, yes. You know what? That's Krishna. What's the problem for us? And that's what hurts us so much.
The body does, we have to, at one point of time, become extinct, whereas we remains eternal.
Do we become extinct?
Yeah, we move from one body to another, but the body dies. So that hurts us the most.
You are getting close to it. Meaning that we keep changing our bodies.
Our designation.
We keep changing our designations, right? One day they say you are Raja, next day you are Praja, right? Oh, or you become a king without kingdom and without people, right? Keep you in your crown, right? But you have no power. In politics, they do like this. They can't remove somebody from his post, so what do? They remove all the people, right? Finish.
Minister without portfolio.
Oh God, she knows it. Oh, so keep your title, all right? Designation keep changing, and therefore it makes us become miserable. Right? Whereas Krishna is eternally, whatever name he is designated by, it remains eternally. Right? Devaki Nandana, Yashoda Nandana, Gopi Jana Vallabha, right? Radha Kanta, right? Nanda Nandana, yes. Laddu Gopal. I don't know whether this is invented or no. I really don't know. Is it invented? Is that a name? Laddu Gopal?
The child form is called.
I guess this is like a sweet way of addressing Krishna, right? Laddu Gopala. Because so far I haven't read it. I don't know, haven't read it as one of the names of. But like they say, Unni Krishna, right? Meaning he's small, but it's not a name as such, right? Unni Krishna. Yeah, I like this word. Yes. So, although the super soul, Paramatma, and the individual soul are both within the body, the super soul is devoid of designation, whereas the conditioned soul is designated by what? His particular type of body. And I have just shown you how even while you are in one body itself, your designation may change and you feel hurt. Right? Yes. So then the super soul is Antaryami, everywhere. Okay, continue to read.
The soul is present in everyone's body, whereas the individual soul is conditioned in one particular type of body. The individual soul cannot understand what is taking place in another's body, but the super soul knows very well what is happening in all bodies. In other words, the super soul is always present in his full spiritual position, whereas the individual soul is prone to forget himself. Nor is the individual soul present everywhere. Generally, in his conditioned state, the individual soul cannot understand his relationship with the super soul. But sometimes, when he is free from all conditional existence, he can see the real difference between the super soul and himself. When the Supersoul tells the conditioned soul, you and I are one and the same, it is to remind the conditioned soul of his spiritual identity as being qualitatively one. In the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam 3.20.40, it is said, Yatho Mukut Vishpu Lingar Dhumal Vapi Svasambhavat Api Dimate Vana Bhimata Yatha Guni Prathak Almukat. Fire has different features. There is flame, the sparks, and the smoke. Although these are one in quality, there is still a difference between the fire, the flame, the spark, and the smoke. The living entity becomes conditioned, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead is different because it does not become conditioned at any point. In the Vedas, it is stated, Atma Tatha Prathak Drishta Bhagwan Brahmo Samaj Nita. Atma is the individual soul as well as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the seer of everything. Although both are spirit, there is always a difference. In this Smriti, it is also said, Yathagni Shudra Vishpu Linga Vyucharanti. Just as the sparks manifest in a large fire, similarly, the small individual souls are present in the great spiritual flame. In Bhagavad Gita 9.4, Lord Krishna says, Matsthani Sarva Bhutani Na Jaham Tasva Asvasthita. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Although all living beings are resting in him, as small fire specks rest on a large flame, both are differently situated. Similarly, in the Vishnu Puran it is said, Ekadesha Sthitis Yagnar Jyosna Vistarini Yatha Parasya Brahmana Shaktis Tathedam Akhilam Jagat. Fire is situated in one place, but it distributes heat and light. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is distributing his energies in different ways. The living entity is but one of these energies, marginal energy. The energy and the energetic are one in one sense, but they are differently situated as energy and the energetic. Similarly, Sachidanand from conferred in Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Param Krishna, Sachidanand Vigraha, is different from that of the living entity in both its conditioned and liberated states. Only atheists consider living entity and the personality of Godhead equal in all respects. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore says, Mayavadi Bhashya Sunile Haya Sarva Nasa. If one follows the instructions of Mayavadi philosophers and believe that the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the individual soul are one, his understanding of real philosophy is forever doomed.
Okay, now which analogy is given here to explain this? Sorry? Fire. So what's the analogy?
Fire between the spark and the smoke.
Okay, so fire has different components, alright? It has flame. When you speak of fire, these are the different components of fire. Flame, sparks, and smoke. Are they one?
One in body.
They are not one? Then,
They are all warm, but they are all different than fire is also.
Light and it comes from the fire.
The source is the same.
can smoke exist without fire?
No.
Alright? If we speak of fire, automatically it means these three things, right? So can a spark exist without the fire? No. Alright? So meaning these are inherent part and parcel of the fire. Alright? So even though they are one, at the same time everyone is saying they're different. Okay? So this is from where do we learn this? From?
Chaitanya Prabhu, a Veda,
Is it there? Where is it? This fire flame is explained where?
Srimad Bhagavatam,
Yes.
3rd canto, 28, 40.
Yes. Yatol mukad vishpulingat dhumad vapi swasambhavat api atma tvena bhinatad yathagni pritag ulmukat. Alright? This is the translation, what Prabhupada is explaining here. Fire has different features: flame, sparks, and smoke. They are one and same, at the same time they are obviously different. So, similarly, so who is compared to what?
We are spark, fire is the supreme.
Yes. We are sparks, and the Supreme Lord is the original fire. Alright, so Atma is the individual soul as well as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the seer of everything. Although both are spirit, there is always a difference. What is the difference? Yes, fire is large and yes. Okay, large fire and small spark. This is just going again and again over the same thing so that we don't forget. So previously one example was given of sun, alright? So now this is like easier to understand than the sun, because both look the same, right? The sun in the sky and the small sun, and nobody thinking, when you tell a child, what's this? Is the sun? Or does anybody say, no, it's not the sun? Everybody say, yeah, it's the sun. But then when you start to think, but it's a small sun, right? But here this is more obvious because like the distinction is more evident, all right?
Fire comes from the spark. First is the spark and then is the fire.
Here we're speaking of the fire that is emanating the sparks, all right? So you're speaking about, like this match, the matchstick that set fire to the firewood. That's what you're thinking. That's what you're thinking?
Yeah, and also, the two stones when you rub, it first ignites into a small spark and then it becomes a big ball of fire.
Yeah, but here we are referring to that fire. So meaning that inherent fire is in the stone, right? Inherent fire is in the stone. So when you rub it, the heat, so that comes next. Another analogy. Eka desha sthitasya agnir joshna vistarini yatha parasya brahmana shaktis tathedam akhilam jagat. Fire is situated in one place, but it distributes heat and light, all right? So meaning that actually inherent in that stone is a huge fire. So when you are rubbing it together, the first manifestation is the spark. But actually it's not the spark. Fire is inside, right? But it is what is becoming manifested first is the spark. Yes. So if that spark falls on wet ground, what happens to it? It gets integrated, right? And everybody knows about forest fire, right? Forest fire means it's just on, right? It's just on. And it may come from a forest fire. Do you know how it may come? Yeah, it comes from just a cigarette, and cigarette butts, right? Butts, what you call it? God knows how you call it, right? So they say in California and all these places, when people are irresponsible, they're smoking, they just drop something So, can we say that the source of the fire is that small spark? Can we say that? No. The fire is in the wood. Right? Can we say, oh, this is all tricky, this is all philosophy, right? What we are observing and what our logic tells us. So this huge, uncontrollable forest fire, which may happen by the rubbing of bamboo sticks, or comes from a stone, or from a cigarette, meaning that actually the fire is in the wood. That enormous fire that we are talking about.
But the cigarette butt is a cause for this particular. The fire is in the
Yes,
wood.
yeah.
Something should trigger the wood.
Yes, yeah.
The cigarette butt or rubbing of two leaves is the cause for the huge forest fire.
Yes, but in the potential of the fire is in the wood. Otherwise, wherever you may put it, if there's no potential, it doesn't happen. If you put it in water, it's gone. It doesn't have the power, but it triggers off. Similarly, our bhakti, all right? Our bhakti can make the Supreme Lord become manifested, all right? The small spark of bhakti that we have can force, actually, the Supreme Lord to reveal Himself. But is it that the Supreme Lord is dependent? You get it? Now, Urmilaji is very intelligent. you understood? All right? So it triggers, it brings out the huge, the Brahman, but it is not the Brahman. All right? Yeah.
Question was, in the previous one, in 62, we discussed that there is no separation between the super soul and the individual soul, or
Yeah.
that there is no super soul. Okay.
No.
In 63,
No. No, we have to read everything properly. Okay? We have to read everything properly. The Mayavadi philosophers are again and again defeated by the illusory energy because they think there is no separation between the super soul and the individual soul. Alright, this is what they think. Or in other words, they think there is no super soul. They are saying there is no separation between the super soul and the individual soul, meaning they are one and the same. Or in other words, there is no super soul, it's only soul. Whereas the Vaishnava is saying no. It's not me only. It's not only I, just like I spoke of that small spark and the huge fire. So we say that that small spark can cause the huge fire to become manifested. And I gave the analogy of how the Jeev, the small bhakta, can cause the Supreme Lord to become visible. Right? Like nobody will say that this, Supreme Lord and I are one and the same, or that I have caused, I have caused the birth of the Supreme Lord. Alright? Raj is very tricky, extremely tricky. So you have to be Kono Bhagyavan Jeev, right? Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij.
Mataji, that means the Mayavadis think that there is only the soul and the soul is the super soul. I am God, you are God, we are all.
Here it is down there, right? Everyone is one. So you remove the water and what's left? Only sun. That's what all of you were saying, right? Yeah, very easy to become Mayavadi. So therefore Prabhupada is saying, but no, watch closer. The reflected image is smaller and less brilliant. So they are not exactly same. Alright? So this is called an analogy. Alright? God, this gets very interesting, right? So then what is the other misery of that soul? What is the other misery? What is the main misery of that conditioned soul? He forgets. He forgets Krishna. He forgets him. When he forgets Krishna, automatically he forgets who he is. He loses his identity, his own identity. He loses it as soon as he forgets Krishna. Okay, so now again comes this fire. Now another analogy. So we have spoken about the sparks, etc. Now that one sun, that one fire is situated in one place. And what is it doing? It's distributing its energies. All right? This is how, when we speak of this reflection is actually what? The energy of the Supreme Lord. All right? So it's like the sun, now he's sending out the sun rays, and what is being reflected is actually the energy of the Supreme Lord. What are they called? Here? What are they called? Marginal energy. What is the meaning of marginal?
The one which is in between the top and the bottom. And it can get affected by the superior energy, or it can get affected by
Who gets affected?
the marginal energy.
The marginal energy. Who is that
The
marginal
living
energy?
entity.
Yeah.
It can go towards spiritual.
Yeah, the living entity, the Tashta Shakti. Alright?
He
The-
can get influenced by the,
Yeah.
by the higher energy, or he can get influenced by the lower energy.
Yes. Okay, this is one more thing to remember and understand. That this Jeev that we are calling reflected, part and parcel, is actually belongs in the category of Shakti, not Purush. This Jeev is in category of Shakti and not Purush. But in this material world, this Shakti wants to become Purush. Right? So therefore they're always competing. Always competing, you know. What is the meaning of Purush?
Controller.
Yeah, controller, enjoyer. Supreme enjoyer. Purushottam is supreme enjoyer. What else? Purusha. 3 definitions. Please write down. What is the definition of Ishvara? Purusha.
Domination.
That's enjoyer. Controller. Okay.
Powerful.
That's controller. Proprietor.
Yes.
Proprietor. Purusha says it belongs to me, right? That's the main characteristic of that Purush. It's mine. I am the owner. Therefore, I control and I enjoy. All right? Now, when that Shakti, which is just an insignificant spark, right? Forget. What is this music? Sorry? Proprietor, controller, enjoyer. Yeah. Controller means power, right? Now we can identify the world when we've heard all this definition. Everybody wants to be Purush, right? That's the problem. When actually by constitution, what is the Jeev? Shakti. Right? The Jiva Shakti, feminine, meaning predominated, dependent, energetic and energy. The energy and energetic are in one sense, are one in one sense, but they are differently situated as energy and the energetic. Yes, only Ether is considered a living entity and the personality of Godhead equal in all respects. So they are equal, yes, in quality, but not in quantity. Or quantity meaning in ability, in controlling, in being the enjoyer, being able to own, to control and to enjoy. They're not equal. So Mayavadi Bhasya Shunli Hai Sarvanash. If you go on hearing this Mayavad philosophy, very soon you say, yes, we all one. We are all one. Just see, you remove the reflection, immediately I am that one sun. Right? It was very good exercise, right? Right. Okay. Oh God. Okay. Only one more last verse. Evam samanaso hamso hamsena pratibodhitaha swasthastad vyabhicharena nashtamapa punasmritim.
In this way, both swans live together in the heart. When the one swan is instructed by the other, he is situated in his constitutional position. This means he regains his original Krishna consciousness, which was lost because of his material attractions. Here it is clearly stated, Hamso Hamsena Pratibodhita. The individual soul and the super soul are both compared swans, Hamsa, because they are white or one swan, however, is bigger and is the instructor of the other. When the inferior swan is separated from the other swan, he is attracted to material enjoyment. This is the cause of his fall down. When he hears the instruction of the other swan, he understands his real position and is again revived to his original consciousness. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, comes down Avtara to deliver his devotees and kill the demons. He also gives his sublime instruction in the form of Bhagavad Gita. The individual soul has to understand his position by the grace of the Lord and the spiritual master, because the text of Bhagavad Gita cannot be understood simply by academic qualification. One has to learn Bhagavad Gita from a realized soul. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshanaha. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. BG 4.34. Thus one has to select a bona fide spiritual master and become enlightened to his original consciousness. In this way, the individual soul can understand that he is always subordinate to the super soul. As soon as he declines to remain subordinate and tries to become an enjoyer, he begins his material conditioning. When he abandons the spirit of being an individual owner or enjoyer, he becomes situated in his liberated state. The word swastha, meaning situated in one's original position, is very significant in this verse. When one gives up his unwanted attitude of superiority, he becomes situated in his original position. The word tatvya abhicharena is also significant, for it indicates that when one is separated from God due to disobedience, his real sense is lost. Against the grace of Krishna and Guru, he can be properly situated in a liberated position. These verses are spoken by Srila Narad Muni, and his purpose in speaking them is to revive our consciousness. Although the living entity and the super soul are one in quality, the individual soul has to pursue the instruction of the super soul. That is the state of liberation.
Okay, so now comes the analogy of swans, right? Swans, do you like that? Hamsa, right? Why do you like it? Yeah, and white, pure white and uncontaminated. Pure white and uncontaminated. Yeah, that's why we like it, and that's how Hamsa, Paramahamsa, then we speak of Paramahamsa. Yes, so what about those two swans? What are their characteristics and their difference?
One is superior and the instructor of the other.
Yes, one is superior and one is the instructed. Okay, what more? Yeah, what is this material enjoyment? Sorry? Attachment to what? Yeah, how does it all start? What desire? To be independent. Alright, to be independent. This is the root of it all. Because the Supreme Lord is Swatantra, right? And we also want to be absolutely and completely Swatantra. That's the problem. Everybody, right? Your children, they want the independence, right? Right? Did you notice this? As soon as the child starts to stand on his little feet, he wants to escape your control. Where it's coming from? It's that soul. It's inside that soul. This is the sure indication that the root of it all is independence. So, to want to enjoy, so that's the cause of his fall down. When as soon as that idea comes that I can be an independent enjoyer, immediately that becomes the cause of our fall down. Okay, so now, it's very interesting. How can we revive our consciousness? You know, Devaki, if you come around, it's easier for you.
You have to understand the position.
Something very interesting is given here about the famous verse that we all know, why the Lord descends.
By the grace of Krishna and mercy.
Very, very interesting here. No, it's right there in your book. No, how, how you get back your lost consciousness?
Krishna comes down to instruct, or we read the scriptures is how we know the way back to.
Yeah, can you recite those verses that is Prabhupada is describing here? Come on.
I'm teaching a spiritual master.
No, I'm speaking about Krishna reviving our consciousness. How he's doing it. Recite that verse from Bhagavad Gita. Yes, yeah. Yeah, we thought he came to kill the demon. Actually, he came to give us instruction, right? Paritranaya sadhunam. You are the sadhus, right? Right? So we thought we were big, right? To kill the demons, and we are the sadhus. And here we found that we thought, we are the helpless. We are to be, protected from the demons. But actually, Krishna is coming to make us become sadhu, right?
We are the demons.
Right? This is what we are reading here. So, it's very interesting. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, comes down, avatar, okay? Avatar. Yada yadahi. See, everybody knows. So, the Supreme Person, Godhead, Krishna, comes down, avatar, to deliver his devotee, right? And here we are, reading Bhagavad Gita, read, right? You don't want to read. So this is how we become sadhus, when we accept the Upadesh of Krishna. Yes. So then, very practical, very, very practical when we say that, God comes. So how does he come? What does he do? Right? So what does he do? He gives you Bhagavad Gita, read Bhagavad Gita. That's Krishna. This is how he's protecting the sadhus. Paritranaya sadhunam. This is how he's protecting the sadhus. He's not allowing them to become demons. Right? Fall down and become demons. Yes, and then the next step is that if you want to understand Bhagavad Gita, what's the next step? You approach a spiritual master, because without approaching a spiritual master, we cannot understand. Okay. So when the spirit soul abandons the spirit of being an individual owner or enjoyer, he becomes situated in his liberated state. So what is the state of liberation? What is this?
He is the servitor of the Lord and he is not the owner of the Lord.
Yes. Swastha. Just read this, what Prabhupada is.
The attitude of superiority becomes situated in the soul.
Yeah, everybody is correct. So let's read this first again. So the individual soul is always subordinate to the super soul. This is something that his ego has to accept. Alright? That he's always subordinate. This is the first thing. And second thing, he gives up his spirit of being an individual owner or enjoyer. An individual owner or enjoyer. Right? You know how it happens now, right? Especially in cities. Everybody is for himself. Right? Just for himself. Individual owner and enjoyer. Very much evident in cities. Very personal. They can't think of bigger. This is the problem. All right. And second, just it's this thing. Wire is calling, talking. Then the superiority complex. All right. And the jiva has the superiority complex. So actually the material world is designed to make us lose that superiority complex. Entire world. I'm speaking of the grahas, right? They make sure they make sure to make us lose our superiority complex. The word vyabhicharena is also significant, for it indicates that when one is separated from God due to disobedience, his real sense is lost. I mean, his sense of who he is lost. He can no longer understand who he is. Like the pride that contaminates this jiva, intoxicate that jiva, make him forget actually who he is, what he is. Okay. So the state of liberation is to know and understand who we are. So let's last verse. Barhishmane tad adhyatmaham parokshena pradarshitam yat paraksho priyo deva bhagavan vishva bhavanaha. Okay, let Urmila read. Let her read.
Translation. My dear King Prachinapari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, is celebrated to be known indirectly. Thus, I have described the story of Purajana to you. Actually, it is an instruction for self-realization. Purport. There are many similar stories in the Puranas for self-realization. As stated in the Vedas, Paroksha Priya Vihahi Deva. There are many stories in the Puranas that are intended to interest ordinary men in transcendental subjects. But actually these refer to real facts. They are not to be considered stories without a transcendental purpose. Some of them refer to real historical facts. One should be interested, however, in the real purport of the story. Indirect instruction is quickly understandable for a common man. Factually, the path of Bhakti Yoga is the path of hearing directly about the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sarvanam Kirtanam Visnoha. But those who are not interested in hearing directly about the activities of the Lord, or who cannot understand them, can very effectively hear such stories and fables as this one narrated by Narad Muni. The following is a glossary of some of the important words in this chapter.
Okay, all right. So we're stopped here. So this is your line, right? Stories. So how do you feel about this? I'm sure you like it very much, right? So here we are. Storytelling is one way of giving knowledge to who? To who? Yeah, yes, and specifically. Yes, to the ordinary man. All right? Right? If you don't tell a story while you're giving a lecture, everybody feels you're so boring, right? Right? You say so boring, going on and on and on with philosophy. Right? So you have to put in some story, sometimes some personal thing that happened, something that you heard, this great Raja did this and this one did this, that one did, right? Like children basically. Children always want a story. I remember every day some story you have to tell me, right? That was like the life, the stories, right? It's so much it triggers the imagination. So can you give me some example of stories? Here, Prabhupada is saying that in the Vedas. So this is Paruksha Priya Eva Hi Devaha. Paruksha Gyan, meaning that it is indicating. It's what is it indicating? Paruksha. One way of giving knowledge. Paruksha. What does the Paruksha mean? Indirect, yes, indirect way, like the whole of Mahabharata. The whole of Mahabharata, it is Paruksha, right? Each and every story, there is some lesson to learn from this, right? Give me another example. Ramayana, yes. Now this Prabhupada is speaking of fables. So now I've given you an example of stories which is actually Prabhupada's real fact. They're referring to real fact. But then there is also fables. What? Like what? The fables. No, this is from Ramayana. These are the stories. The fables. Oh God, all of you must be knowing this. Yes. Yeah, Panchatantra, right? Animal stories. And anything else you remember? Chandamama. This is Ramayana, history. What is there in Amar Chitra? What is there in moral stories? Bilbal? No, these are Srimad Bhagavatam. These are real stories. I'm speaking of those fables. So Panchatantra, this is one. Hitopadesh. So you will find that this Hitopadesh is meant for Vaishya community. Because it's all about how to do business. Right? So the story is meant for them. But with an Upadesh so that they remain dharmic. Right? Panchatantra, I don't know properly what it's all about, I've forgotten.
It's about, telling about our daily lives, but in the form of animals, so that none of us get offended. You did this, instead of you saying lion and elephant.
Oh, qualities.
Yeah, all qualities
The
of
qualities.
humans
The
are
qualities.
attributed
Okay.
to the animal.
Okay.
So that there is indirect correlation between the qualities of humans to the qualities of animals without hurting anyone.
Yeah. All right. Paruksha. All right. So it's acceptable. All right. So we have completed chapter 28. So this very, very rich, right? I think from every section it's like completely different subject matters being discussed in this chapter. So please do read it again, revise, make your own notes, and we are like moving forward with now we'll find out. And this glossary of words is very useful. This glossary of words. All right, so after we have read all this, now we'll see what happens next. Talks between Narada and King Prachinarbali. All right. Hare Krishna.
This is also going to be heavy philosophy.
Yeah, but it's going to be easier because we've already heard all the purports. Prabhupada has already given us all the purports. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhuve evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. I hope you're all looking forward to our Bhagavatam class. I think we should bring a Advait in the classroom, right? It will be more disciplined than the brother.